do do. Get on in here, people. Oh shoot. Get in here, get in here, get in here. Get in here. We got a lot talking about. Let me make sure these folks can see this. All right, let me close that now. I think that's all right. Get in here, get in here, get in here. Let me turn on so I can see some of the comments. I don't know why my computer is I do know why, because I'm in a daggone basement. So it's slow. Everything is slow. Oh no, the comments is on. Okay. All right. Making sure I'm on all of the platforms. And I'm gonna give y'all some time to get in here. Let me let some people know. It's been a minute, y'all. It's been a minute. It's been a minute. It's been a minute. I've been doing some things though. I've been doing a couple of things. Let me start a new video. I guess I had started a video before. Whatever. What's going on? What's going on? Get in here. Get in here, y'all. Y'all heard about the verdict, right? Y'all. Oh God, we gotta talk about it. Try sharing with the new dude. Listen, I don't need to try nothing new. Instagram, just show me the old shit stuff. They said I can't curse no more. I guess. Good evening, Richard Robinson. How are you? Roddy Mangos, how are you? Latanya, what's good, sis? Sir Miguel, Iris, MLW 1619, Butterflies, Tanya, what's good, family? I know y'all been waiting. I know y'all want to talk about this verdict. I'm trying to do more than one. I'm trying to do a couple of things. I'm on YouTube, so if you around YouTube, you could log off Instagram. I'm gonna try because I'm not really dressed, y'all. I ain't gonna hold you. God, the kid is not dressed. Whatever. Oh damn. I'm really trying to get this to work. I got a little stand here. I shouldn't have been trying. I'm trying to wave to folks. That's what I get for trying to be nice and wave to people. I'm waving. Can't hear me. Oh. So, can y'all hear me on this on StreamYard? These people? Can y'all hear me? Roddy, Kanza? Can y'all hear me, Herbert? Tish, what's good, sis? Good evening. Good evening. Okay, thank you, Richard. All right. I don't know why y'all can't hear me on Instagram. I'm gonna tell them come over to YouTube. Sorry. I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know why. Let me see. If I play with something, I don't want to touch nothing. No, why I can't hear. Nope. Hold on. Nope, that didn't. All right. Come over to YouTube or Facebook. All right. I'm turning this off because for some reason they can't hear me. And I don't have time for that. Discard video. Y'all. I'll go back on. I promise the Instagram folks I will go back on later. My screen is looking crazy. Come on, Ethan. I got a blurred background. That's on purpose. There's none back there you want to see anyway. If you don't mind. Peace, 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 D. Peace. Greetings. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go through a few things, and then I'll put the link on if anybody wants to jump on and talk about it. We can. All right. So today, the jury returned a verdict in New York of guilty on all 34 counts of falsifying the business records, which is an felony in New York. What does that mean? That means that Donald Trump, who has no prior convictions, is facing on an felony, one count. Felony is 1 1/3 to 4. Okay. 1 1/3 to 4 years. Somebody put that in chat. 1 1/3 to 4. Now, you judges typically would sentence consecutively. It is possible that the judge could find that each of these counts were a distinct and separate act and therefore warrant consecutive time. Therefore, he would be facing 1 1/3 to 4 on each of the 34 counts. How do people get to these hundreds of years? If the judge were to max him out on each count, giving him 4 years consecutively, that would be 4 times 34 years. Somebody do that math. I'm not about to do that. I didn't do the math before I got on. Stop playing. I don't do math. I do words. I don't do numbers. I do words. Come on, do the math. What is it? 34 times 3. Y'all in the chat. He's a felon. Okay, we're going to talk about what that means. We're going to talk about what that means for a white man in America to be a felon, because I don't think it means what you think it means. Right? I don't think. Okay, so he was found guilty, right? So we said 34 times what I said, 4. 34 times 4. That's 136 years. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Something Miguel said 102. I got 236. So I'm going to go with the majority rules. That looks right. 34 times 4. All right. So that's the potential. There is no way in hell that this judge is going to max him out on every count and then run those counts consecutively. That's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Right? So, yeah, not technically he's facing 136 years, but in reality, he's facing 1 1/3 to 4. Okay. He's also at the end of the spectrum, right? Because the low end of the felony spectrum is no jail and probation. Right? So he could say no jail, he could say probation, he could say community service, any range of that, and up until to jail. Right? Okay. So what happens now is the case is adjourned for sentencing. Typically it's 4 to 6 weeks. I don't know what the adjourn date is. He has to meet with the Department of Probation. They write a report for the judge, which basically this is going to be, it's just weird detailing his background. Oh, this is going to be something. This probation officer is going to have to write, his background, his upbringing. Probation reports are supposed to tell the judge about who you are, why you may have offended, recommendations on your sentence, right? So he's not going to get. So here's what I'm saying. Here's what I'm going to say. Now, I think the judge would probably give him some sort of probation or community service, not even community service, because he's Donald Trump. So where can he go without the Secret Service and actually perform some community service? And technically, if you're going to be leading the free world, that is your community service. So his range of sentences is probably limited based on who Donald Trump is. But I don't think that he'll give him jail. Now, if he does give him jail time, is Donald Trump going to go to jail? Very likely not. Why not? Because he is going to appeal this, right? And in New York, you can get bail pending appeal. It's a non-violent case. And so he could get bail pending appeal. And while his appeal is working through the appellate court, he will be running for office, right? He'll be running for office because he's not disqualified from running from office. And this has only engendered his base to make him a martyr of sorts, right? So he's a martyr now. He's been victimized by the system. Look what they did. Look what they did to him. This wasn't even a crime. He did this to hide it from Melania. Now, typically the judge is going to ask the prosecution for their recommendation on sentencing. And this is where it's going to get interesting. So, when Alvin Bragg first took office in 2022, he issued his day one memo. Anybody remember the day one memo? Because my memory is long. My memory is very, very long. Day one memo. Anybody remember the day one memo? Right. Well, y'all can Google it. I have it around here somewhere. I'm scared to share my screen. Stop playing with me. Leave me alone. Anyway, the day one memo basically said that incarceration rates were through the roof, right? And this was his prosecutorial model was to not incarcerate non-violent offenders. Right. And so he got a lot of slack for that, which is why they say, oh, crime is running rampant and Alvin Bragg's just letting them go. You lock them up, they let them go. Right. But that was part of his policy, was that we are not going to fill up the jails with non-violent offenders. So it is going to be interesting to see if the prosecutors in this case come back with a jail recommendation, given that memo. Not that he's abided by that memo in any regard, but it's interesting to see how it'll shape up there, now. It just is. All right. So now, while he is out pending on bail pending appeal, the election will still be taking place, and he very likely will win. Right? He's still the presumptive Republican presidential nominee. And so he will very likely win this election, especially with so many people just apathetic, completely and wholly apathetic about this election. There are so many people who are just fed up. They're sick and tired of not having options that they feel are real options. And listen, I'm not here to knock anybody for your choices, but the reality of it is that there just isn't enough, I think, support on a Democratic ticket for them to be these nut jobs on the right, because they solid. They don't, they're going to vote the party line, even if they can't stand him. And Democrats are not like, I don't like him. So, and that's what happens. All right. So do I think that this conviction will stand up on appeal? And no, I don't. I don't think it will. I don't think Donald Trump got a fair trial. I think that the Weinstein verdict, which reversed his conviction, came from the Court of Appeals in the middle of this trial. Right? In the middle of this trial. And one of the things that I did see the prosecution do, they did pivot. And instead of calling Karen McDougal, who was also a victim, they took her off the witness list. They took her off the witness list because they read this Court of Appeals decision, and the Court of Appeals said that the judge in the last case, Judge Burke, that he abused his discretion by allowing in testimony that was not relevant to the case, but that was harmful and prejudicial, that denied him a fair trial. So let me think about the Donald Trump case. What was the point of the Stormy Daniels testimony in a falsifying business records case? Why should the jury know that this man had propositioned this young woman and put her in a situation where she had sex with him, which turned into sexual regret that she sort of sold as like a kind of like a soft rape, if you will. You know what I mean? That was kind of like a testimony, sort of intimated or suggested that she wasn't forced. It was consensual, but she didn't really want to. Right? So you got sexual regret. Right? And for some people, they can't distinguish the two. Right? Jurors are very finicky people. We don't know who's on the jury who may have had some experience of sexual regret that they think very much is rape. There's a lot of women out there that confuse sexual regret with rape, and I blame a lot of their damn friends. The friends who come on and go, you didn't want to have sex with him, then why you do it? Did he you I don't know, you better think about that. That don't sound right. You know who the hell you are. Next thing you know, I think I was raped. No, bitch. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna have to bleep that out. Oh God. Okay. Um, stay focused. Stay focused. Stay focused. Anyway, the Weinstein decision, which came down in the middle of this trial, basically said that he didn't get a fair trial because of these other women who came and testified, and the testimony was prejudicial and harmful. And I think that the testimony from Stormy Daniel was equally prejudicial and harmful. Right? It's so much so that it very, very much could have denied him a fair trial. Right? Because he very, I'm sure that factored into why he didn't take the stand, along with the Sandoval decision, which I will read, allowed Trump, if he testified, and I'll explain Sandoval in a second. If he decided to testify, the prosecutors would have been allowed to cross-examine him on the civil fraud verdict that found he violated the law by fraudulently inflating the value of his properties and was ordered to pay more than $464 million in penalties, including interest. The judge also allowed prosecutors to ask Trump about two violations of Judge Arthur Engron's gag order during the trial last fall, in which Trump was fined $15,000. Prosecutors were permitted to ask Trump about E. Jean Carroll's verdicts in federal court, both of them, where juries found that Trump defamed her when he denied her rape allegations. Trump was ordered to pay $83 million. And the judge allowed the prosecutors to elicit testimony from Trump about the settlement he reached with the New York Attorney General that led to the dissolution of the Donald J. Trump Foundation. So that's also a factor that the appellate court is going to look at, whether or not those allowing in crimes that are so similar, right? They're so similar that maybe a jury would not be able to distinguish, that crime should be only used to determine his credibility and not to be used to determine that since he did that type of crime before, he did this type of crime again, right? And so certain types of ruling like that, Sandoval rulings, could have a chilling effect on a defendant testifying, which implicates his Fifth Amendment right to testify in his own defense, right? That's the Constitution. All right, so that's an interesting thing that I'm sure will be one of the basis for his appeal. He gonna play Tupac at his campaign rallies now. That's terrible. This is terrible. He's a martyr. This is not good. All right. So Sandoval. What is a Sandoval? Sandoval is a hearing that is conducted before trial, typically before the trial judge, that determines what areas of cross-examination are permissible should a defendant take the stand. That way, the defendant knows before he takes the stand exactly what of his bad acts, his prior bad acts, and his prior convictions, the prosecutor will be allowed to ask him about. Right? Often it shapes his direct examination, right? To try to get some of that out before the prosecutor cross-examines him about, to try to, soften the blow about those. It's not like the jury's hearing it for the first time. It all came out on direct examination, Missed the beginning of your question. To establish the motive for his. Hey, Dennis, you want to join? Let me find the link. I be forgetting how to do everything. I do. Al, look at me. Check me out. I'm not a YouTuber. I just play one on TV. Okay, the link is in there. All right. So I think I covered what I wanted to cover with respect to why he didn't testify, what the sentencing looks like, what an appeal looks like, what bail pending appeal looks like, and that this will not affect the election. This will not negatively affect the election because it might positively affect the election. Yeah. There are certain functions you cannot do as a president and be a felon. I'm a felon. Like felon can't have access to nuclear info, right? Got to be some kind of rule policy. I don't. This will be all new charted territory. Like I don't know if he could get certain security clearances. I don't know how it works. I don't know how it would work. I don't know. It would be absolutely crazy. What if he got probation? I was on a Godfrey show on the God Squad, and he did an impersonation of Obama being Donald Trump probation officer. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. It was hysterical. I think I posted it on my Instagram. Dennis, where you at? I've been playing a lot of golf yet, y'all, and I'm just not getting better. Like I played golf the other day and I was like, why is this game so hard? I was like, I'm quitting. I'm gonna fucking quit golf. But I'm not. Come on, Dennis. If he's president, he has to have full presidential access. No, I would imagine so. I don't know. This is all new territory. We've never had a president who was a felon before. So I don't know. Could you have gotten Trump a not guilty verdict if you were leading his defense or so? What would have been your defense strategy? I would have used Michael Cohen differently. I would have used him differently. I would have used him to my favor because he knows so much about the Trump organization. And I would have gotten him to say that Trump didn't make these entries, and that he wasn't aware of the entries. Right? These entries that they say are fraudulent business transactions. Who's responsible for writing these things? He's not responsible for entering these, right? Who does that? Someone else. Is he even aware? Like, this guy is not doing the day-to-day. He didn't do the day-to-day when he was the president. How can he even still run? There's no bar to him running as a felon. There's no bar. The Constitution doesn't require that you be a non-felon. It only requires you be a citizen and over 35, right? 35. Mm-hmm. Oh, Don, I'm sorry, Dennis. You know I can't see. Why you ain't You know I can't see. You're supposed to say, "Listen, I'm down there. Look down." You muted. You muted. That's what you trying to come in here talking smack. That's why you muted.
I'm up.
Welcome.
Okay, so
Thank you for joining me. So the folks did some math for me, right?
yes,
And we were talking about the potential of the judge maxing him out on every count and running it consecutive. So on an E felony, you face no time, probation up to 1 1/3 to 4. So if the judge were to try to give him 4, I don't even know if he could give him a determinate 4. I think he has to give him an
I got
indeterminate.
44 years.
No, 4. If we did 1 1/3 to 4 times 4.
Oh, let's just go to high number. Let's go to high number. So that's
Times
about
34 rather. Times 34. So that would be like, maybe 40 years to 136 years. Whatever it is. It's some crazy number that There's no way
And
this judge is going to give him that time.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way. So what I
If
was
the
saying,
judge did, if the judge did that,
go ahead. He's going to look partisan, right?
If the judge did that, he would have to go on to Bali with Russell Simmons.
Oh God.
Not Trump, but the judge.
Right. Yeah, I don't see him doing that. But what I was saying that even if he did give him the minimum, like minimum jail sentence, if he gave him 1 1/3 to 4, right? He's going to get bail pending appeal.
Okay. And how long the appeal process will take in New York?
The appeal process takes a year at least, minimum. It won't be be done. So, it won't be done by the election. No way.
So he'll be assuming that he's the front runner. He is the front runner.
He is the front runner. He's the presumptive nominee. He's the presumptive Republican nominee. Right? So he's definitely on the ticket November. Everything will have to pause then. Everything will be on pause until his presidency is over.
And this is going to bring more voters out for sure.
I think
just made the guy a martyr. Just made him a martyr.
I just said that. I literally just said that. Well, you was listening, huh? You just, I'm on here repeating what I said, didn't I? Yeah. Listen, right. So this is you can't get certain federal jobs with a felony. The people that work for him can't have felonies, right? But he will have one. Oh boy.
What is the worst case? What do you think he can do to extreme if he gets in office that could change the direction of this country besides the war?
Oh. So I don't know who else is retiring on the Supreme Court.
Right? Thomas and Alito's the next one's out.
They might be. Right? And so that's 2 more to keep that 6-3.
Right.
And then he appointing federal judges all over the place. Who knows what kind of executive orders?
The
Justice Department is not going to be doing any civil rights, anything. That's dead. Even if they might eliminate the Civil Rights Division. Shit. Shoot. They might. He might eliminate the Civil Rights Division because he definitely might try to eliminate civil rights. We don't need them anymore. Everyone is equal, It's a lot. It's there's a lot on the line. There's a lot on the line. And it's a train that I don't see anybody able to stop. And I don't think that this is gonna affect anything. People are celebrating and hooting and hollering and he's gonna be held accountable. When? Where? How?
Right.
If the judge didn't remand him today, the judge didn't remand him on the finding of a guilty verdict, that tells me he's likely not going to give him jail. When you're going to give somebody jail, you start now. Start your jail sentence now. So he didn't remand.
We are in a uncharted times right now. I'm just sitting here just trying to figure what this country will look like in the next year.
We are going to be the laughing stock, right? Think about it. Our president very well may not be able to travel to certain countries that prohibit felons from entering, right? Think about it. There are a lot of countries that if you have a felony, you cannot visit. How is he going to do? For him? How? I don't know. This is all new territory. I don't know. How that or they could use that as an excuse to keep him out,
See, I
right?
don't know if this was well thought out, even at the Manhattan District Attorney level,
Right.
because what the, this can have a serious impact on a lot of people.
Right. Yeah,
A lot of
people
people.
are galvanized. They're incentivized now. They want to send in $5. I want to 5, 10. His donations are gonna go crazy now. Everybody's gonna be throwing their little coins in, little $2, little 250.
So
Yeah.
what happens? What happened once? Did he have to go through get photographed again? What do you
No,
think happened?
he doesn't get photographed again.
Okay.
No. Mm-mm.
Mm, 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 mm.
Nope. He has to go to probation and be interviewed. I was talking about that so that they can write the pre-sentencing report. So the probation officer has to interview him about his life. And
Well,
again,
that probation officer better have a top secret clearance.
I don't know how that's gonna go, right? You're like, so how old were you when your parents divorced? Like, I don't know how that works. What were your mother and father's name? And where did they come from? And they immigrate here? And how many children do you have? You gotta answer all of these questions, right? What's your income? What is your job? What's your current job?
Right.
In probation, if he was to get probation, right? They have the authority to search your residence. So
That's not happening.
do they get to search the White
They
House?
don't. They don't.
Go to pop up on the White House like, yo, we out here. Can they do
I can see it now.
that?
He's on the phone with world leaders on one end, and he's talking to probation the other end.
Probation, right? Like, you need a sample, not another one. You know, it could be all kinds of. I don't know. I don't know how this is gonna work. I just know that it's not gonna have. It does. It's not gonna have the effect that people are celebrating it for. And I don't. There's nothing to celebrate here.
No,
Still a moving train. Y'all
I'm
just
definitely not.
revved it up. Y'all revved up the train. Now it's about to go off the rails.
Ike, it's always my belief that it should have never been a trial during the election season.
Yeah, I agree.
It should have never
I
been a
agree.
trial.
I
And,
agree. And
and
initially,
it's so
I didn't.
politicized.
So I was talking about the also. I don't. Did you catch when I talked about the Alvin Bragg memo, his day one memo, when he talked about there should
No,
be
we
no
talked about that
incarceration?
earlier. We talked about
Yeah, for
that earlier.
nonviolent offenders. And
Right.
so I'm curious to see what his prosecutors are going to recommend, right, for
Right.
sentencing, because they have to come in with a sentencing recommendation.
Right.
So are you guys going to come in and recommend jail for this nonviolent offense?
Whatever is done from this point, people are going to view as political,
Mm-hmm.
and it's going to go down in history books. Whatever is written
It's in the
in those
history books.
motions,
Oh, this is history. This is
whatever's written in those
history.
motions, whatever the arguments are going to be.
I don't know. I
It's
don't know.
going.
So they could be filing a post verdict motion, which is called the
Mm-hmm.
330 motion, which is a verdict to set aside a
The,
motion to set aside the verdict.
right.
That's
Which is not
possible.
happening. It's not
They
happening.
probably won't. They'll probably go straight for the appeal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they'll probably go straight for the appeal. Y'all have any questions? Anybody want to join on? Jump on here and join us, because
I'm
I do
sorry.
not want to be here
You
all
called me right
night.
in the middle of dinner.
Oh, listen, I'm not trying to be on here too long, honestly. Let me put the link. It is a crazy situation. In America looks crazy. Can he even still run? Yes, Franklin.
He can't
still
vote.
run.
He can't vote, can he?
No, he can't vote for himself.
That's crazy.
He can't vote
That
for
is
himself. So the photo op, that they do every year, the president going in and voting for himself. Yeah, they're not gonna have that. He gonna
that's not
go with
happening.
Melania. Can she vote? I think. Can
I
she
don't
vote?
think
I don't know. No, he'll go with Barron. Yeah.
he can't vote for himself.
Uh,
That's
oh,
crazy.
Marilyn Moby sentence in Maryland. Should Trump's be any less? So she got
Well,
home arrest. She
home
got home
confinement.
arrest, and she got home arrest. That was a federal case, and I don't think it should be any different. I don't think he should get jail for this. I don't think he should
But
be sent to get
but
jail
he's not
time.
gonna get home arrest. He has. So
No,
how's that
I
look?
don't
Can he
think he's going to
travel
home arrest.
outside the country with all those, like? Can he get on Air Force One? Or do they circle to America?
He can't be home arrest. You think Trump is going to pardon
Does he have to
Marilyn
wear?
Mosby? Has he said anything about
Does he?
About her? Has he said anything on Truth
Biden maybe.
Social about Marilyn
Would he
Mosby?
have to wear
I don't
ankle
know.
monitors?
No. No. What? Hey, Kim.
You can't make stuff up, like this stuff up. This is crazy.
This is
Press conference that
untried.
Alvin Bragg did today.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. You breaking up.
For me,
Yeah, you was freezing a little bit. You doing a little jerky boy.
I'm in the Matrix.
Me too. I'm
Well,
in bed.
I'm going to be watching you in the backstage. I want to finish this
All
before it gets
right.
cold.
I'm about to jump up off of here. I'm gonna jump
Okay.
on Instagram real quick because they couldn't hear me for some reason. So I'm gonna jump on Instagram and talk to those people for a quick minute. And then I'm out of here. And then I'm going to bed. And go work.
Hey,
At work. All right, y'all. Y'all got any questions? No, I can't make it make sense. I cannot. We will be the laughing stock. We will be the laughing stock. I don't know how his security clearance. I don't know how that's gonna work. I don't know. I don't know.
considering who's in the White, considering who's in the White House now, he might sign a few executive orders to slow him up even more.
How? What? Doing what? How so?
Biden has. I mean, I don't know what. We got to watch. Every move is going to be scrutinized, so we just have to wait. Yeah, one is 7, another one's 81 years old. That's crazy.
I agree.
So, Ike, I'm gonna finish my dinner and
I'm
gonna finish my dinner, Ike, and talk to you in a little while.
Okay, man. Okay, love. Thank you, Messiah. I appreciate you. I think so too. But you know how it goes. I don't know if those were New York lawyers at all. Those names didn't look familiar to me. But then again, Trump is known to not pay. So I'm sure that there were a lot of lawyers that were like, yeah, no, sorry, don't really feel like working for free, right? Some lawyers, want the publicity and they take that in exchange for a sum or a retainer fee. But I don't. No, I need to eat. I can't eat any publicity. That is not where it's at. Not. So yeah. So let's keep an eye on this. Let's keep an eye on the sentencing. I want to keep an eye on the sentencing recommendations. I want to see exactly what Alvin Bragg's office is going to recommend should be his sentence. In light of his memos and in light of his stance that nonviolent offenders should not be sentenced to jail time. So we'll see. We'll see. And it's not likely that if they recommend a non-jail sentence or what we call a non-incarceratory sentence, that the judge will go against that. Typically, in cases like this, the judge would go with the people's recommendation, right? So, or somewhere in between what the defense requests and what the people request, right? So, we'll see exactly what the people request. That's why I'm really curious about that. All right. So yeah, it doesn't mean what a lot of people think it means. It's a lot of nothing to see here, if you ask me. Nothing to see here. Let's focus back on all the money that Biden is still sending to Israel. Let's talk about that. Um, let's focus on what's really happening in the world, because this is just a major distraction that is not going to affect your life in any significant way, because this man is still running. This man is still the presumptive Republican nominee, and this man is leading in all the polls. Still. So, again, remember, he's the one who said I could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue. He said I could commit a whole murder, and you'd still vote for me. So, you think that he thinks that folks won't vote for him because he was convicted of falsifying business records? What? He said, grab him by the pussy. And they still voted for him. You think he thinks they're not going to vote for him anymore because he was convicted of falsifying business records? This is a nothing burger. And he is going to use it to his advantage in every regard. So, yeah, I hope the jurors are not in danger either. Hopefully, they don't underestimate and start doing interviews and whatnot. That would not be wise. But people are greedy and hungry for attention. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Rumor has it. Last word. I'll talk about Diddy real quick. Rumor has it. Somebody is leaking a bunch of stuff to CNN. Somebody is leaking stuff to CNN. So CNN had some sources that say that folks have been notified. Usually you use the term subpoenaed. Notified that or being interviewed, right, on the theory that a grand jury is being convened to investigate these sex trafficking charges and whatnot. So we're gonna see about that. We'll see about that. We'll see what happens with that investigation and potential grand jury and potential indictment. And I do think that if he is indicted, it is very likely that the court could order him held. Yeah, without bail, based on those charges and the time that he would be facing. Yeah, there would be a detention hearing. And we'll talk more about that when it's closer. Well, the feds do it a little bit different than in the state courts when it's bail. Bail is a whole production in the federal court where you have to have a whole detention hearing and showings and proof. And so we'll talk about that when we get closer. Yeah, of course he's gonna use it because that's what he is. That's what he does. He uses everything to his advantage and his benefit in some way, shape, form, or fashion. I saw. Yeah, I think there was somebody released another clip from his Apprentice days where he used the N-word. Now, there had been rumor and innuendo that he had been using or used the N-word during filming of The Apprentice, but now one of the, I think, former producers or somebody released a tape or, released the recounting of what was said, and apparently one of the contestants was like in line to win, and he his remark was something to the effect that, do you think America will buy a N-word winning this thing? So yeah. Yeah, I don't think that there's anything that he could do or say, right? We in dangerous times, y'all. We in dangerous times. We are in dangerous times. All right, I'm gonna leave y'all with that. Let y'all think about that. And in the immortal words of Joe Madison, what y'all gonna do about it? What y'all gonna do about it? All right, I'm gonna be on the radio at 7:30 in the morning. If you up, turn on Urban View. Turn on Urban View. I'm gonna be on in the morning. I'm gonna call in about 7:30, I think, around about that time to talk about this. Well, you already heard it, but it might be a different conversation. I'll be on with Dr. Greg Carr, Professor Africana Studies, world-renowned griot, and he is brilliant. And Lamont King, who is hilarious and the king of all things funny. So y'all tune into that. All right, I'm out of here. And I'll talk to y'all later. I love you. I really do. Peace.